I'm going to show you how to easily guarantee at least a 4x ROI for your agency clients so you can charge a whole lot more money and keep your clients happy. I've used these secrets that I'm about to share with you to grow multiple seven-figure agencies, and today I'm going to share everything with you for free. So here's what we're going to cover. First, how to pick high-profit services that make tons of money for your clients, which means you're able to charge a whole lot more money. Next, how to fulfill these services fast, easily, and sometimes completely automated, and how to quickly scale your service delivery to reach $50,000 a month and well beyond that. If you're serious about growing your business and finally achieving the freedom that you so desperately want, then commit to focusing on this video. I've got a ton of free value for you here, so let's dive in. All right, so when it comes to deciding on what high profit services to offer and how you're going to structure all of this inside your agency, probably the first thing that we actually have to talk about is why are we even doing this in the first place? After all, most agencies are normally offering just a ton of different services. They're serving different niches. They're essentially making a ton of different mistakes. And it's important to get down to why we really want to be focused on just the most high profit offer that's going to give you the most amount of returns, going to get your clients the best results, and it's going to make your life just significantly easier. So essentially, what we're doing here when we're designing high profit services to offer to agency clients is that we want to be focused on the only thing that your clients actually care about, which is results. Normally, these results, especially if they're a more sophisticated business owner in the right kind of niche, we're going to talk about this more in just a second, but these results are basically all financial. Marketing is an investment in their business and in their growth. We're not doing this to create brand awareness. We're not doing this to get them more likes on social media, to get them more followers. We're not doing it for any of those reasons, even if that's what they say they want. The fact is, they want those things because of the benefits and the outcome that those things are going to deliver for them, which is typically cash in the bank, sales, revenue, profit, all of the things that actually grow a business. So if you're able to design your services and align that with your clients' goals by delivering essentially cash in the bank for them, you're going to do a whole lot better. And then again, it just makes it easier to start selling your services to them because you're speaking their language. Also, when you do this, it simplifies what you're going to do and what you're going to be offering through your agency. So you no longer have the need to offer 20 different services. You don't have to do SEO and web design and Facebook ads and Google ads and TikTok ads and Instagram ads, and all the ads and funnel building and content marketing and email. All of that just goes out the window because you're able to determine what service is going to get the best results for your agency clients. And then you focus there and you exclude basically every single thing outside of that realm, because again, the clients don't care all of the things you're doing. They care about results. Also, this is going to essentially make you a whole lot more money. Why is it going to make you more money? Because make you more money. There we go. It's going to make you more money for two reasons. One of which is because you're going to actually have better profit margins in the services that you're delivering. And number two, you're going to make more money because your clients are going to be happier with the results you're providing. And you're going to be able to link that up more clearly to actual revenue in their bank. I've got an example that I'm going to walk you through here in just a minute. But essentially, final other point is differentiation. Why you? Why not all of the other agencies around you? Well, it's because you're going to be able to be focused on this. So while all of the other agencies are talking about how they do lead gen and Facebook ads and SEO and web design, and they make all this pretty content that looks really great, you're going to be focused on actually making businesses money, which is the thing that they care about. They're going to give you some money, invest in you and your marketing and your services, and you're going to deliver out the other end, customers, sales, revenue, etc. Now, that's essentially why we want to do this. Hopefully I'm preaching to the choir a little bit here. What we've got to talk about now is what these kind of look like. And essentially what we need to do is we need to find the services that solve one major keystone problem. One horrible, painful, ugly, brutal problem for your business owners. The more painful it is, the more that you're able to charge and the more urgency they have in order to get that solved right away. So essentially, I want you to think of kind of the services that you can offer on a bit of a spectrum here. So on one end, we have what I want you to sell, which is painkillers. And over here on the other end, you've got what most people are selling, which is vitamins. And there's a spectrum that goes back and forth in regards to severity. We're going to talk about kind of like low profit offers in a bit here, but these are all the low profit offers. They're the vitamins. They're the things that are nice to have. They're maybe a bit of an insurance policy. They're for the future. of you, the future of the business owner to worry about and to look after. However, the painkiller is now. These are the pains that they're currently experiencing. These are the things that are keeping them awake at night. These are the things that are ruining their lives that you are uniquely positioned to solve for them and to make sure that you take care of them. And the closer you are over here, the more money you're going to make. Down sort of selling the vitamin path, it's just a whole lot harder. And why make our lives unnecessarily complicated when really we can focus essentially all of our time over here and build multiple six-figure, multiple seven-figure agencies just by focusing on those things there. Now, the next thing is, and we're going to talk more about this later, but it's important to bring up now, it's called the rule of one. And essentially, this is all that is required to get to a seven-figure agency. And that's going to be, let's come back up here, this one problem here. So you're going to solve one problem. You're going to solve it for one kind of person. We call this your ICA, ideal client avatar, call it your target market, call it your niche, whoever it is. We're going to do this ideally through one specific path. This is your agency's signature system, the method that you use to get the results that you do. Even if you haven't named it, even if you don't think that you have a system, you probably have a system already. If you've done any kind of work for any number of clients before, there's a path that you take people through your onboarding, through your collection of their data, figuring out the market research behind it, doing your keyword analysis, looking at the market, writing the ads, whatever it is, that's going to be your path. This is going to be, again, a point of differentiation for you. And essentially, when you do this, all of these, one problem, one kind of person, one specific path, you're able to continually remove all of the stuff that doesn't really matter and focus in on only the things that are going to get your clients the best results, which again, it all comes back to results. Everything in this game is results. That is literally all clients care about. This next part's going to sound cold, but the fact is, when they first meet you, they don't care about you yet. They don't know you. They only care about what you're able to do for them. Now, over time, you're going to wine and dine them and charm them with your amazing personality. But in the beginning, it's just about the results and what you're able to do for them. So if you focus on that and you focus the results around money, you're going to do significantly better. Now, let's talk about what is probably the most important part of high profit services, which is the WHO, the ICA, which stands for Ideal Client or Customer Avatar. This is the most important part when it comes to deciding on what services to offer. So often when I'm talking with an agency owner, one of the students going through the program, they'll look through all of the different services that they can offer. They typically come into the program with just a ton of different things that they're doing, and we start to sort of whittle them away. Well, the service that we want them to end up selecting and going with has to be in direct alignment with the ICA, with their ideal client avatar. We can't choose a service first. We can't say, I'm going to do Facebook ads, I'm going to do SEO, I'm going to do web design, and then try to choose a niche or a target market. Because the fact is, we might just choose the completely wrong service to offer to this target market. They may not need it, they may not care, they may not understand it, and all of a sudden we're trying to jam this square peg into a round hole, trying to tell that our new niche that we've just selected, that they have to do Facebook ads or have to do Google ads, because that's all we got for them. Completely backwards. We want to start with them, and then we're going to figure out exactly what service is going to best align with them. Now, when it comes to choosing a niche, that's not the purpose of this video, but there is something that we do have to talk about just because it is that important. And I want you to think of two different businesses. Business A, Business B. We could do marketing for either of these people. We go out, they could both be in the same niche as well. Let's say we choose roofing or plumbing or whatever it is, but there's going to be a big difference between these two different businesses. Business A is making, let's say, $100,000 a year, and Business B is doing $10 million a year. Now, let's say that you've got a collection of tools in your tool chest that you're able to pull out, and we'll talk again what those services might look like, and you're able to double their business in 12 months. That's your promise. We're going to double your business in 12 months. Well, which one of these businesses is going to get a bigger benefit from that? Right? Obvious. Like this one, they're going to go to 200K. They're going to 20 million. So essentially you've just added either 100,000 on this side or 10 million over here. So obviously this is going to be a factor when we need to be looking at what kind of niche we're going after and what kind of services that we want to offer. Because if we're simply working with businesses that just don't have the budget or don't have the need or don't have the pains that we want to be able to solve for them, we're never going to be compensated for that. Another example, let's say that you're a real estate marketing agency. Let's draw a house. We'll really drive this home. Oh, that was a pun. There we go. So you're a real estate marketing agency and you help one of two different kinds of real estate agents. You have agent A over here, and they work with first-time home buyers. And you can go do marketing for them. You can build them funnels, you can run ads, you can help them with SEO, you can do all of those things. On the other hand, we got agent B over here, and they work with luxury sellers. So they do listings, luxury sellers. Let's say the average home price here, I don't know, first-time home buyer, let's keep our math simple. Let's go 400K. And here, well, luxury homes could be anything. It could be 5 mil, 10 mil, 20 mil. Let's just say 20 mil because it'll make the example more extreme, which is going to be useful. Now, who's going to get more value by selling a home? Let's say that we're dealing with a 5% commission rate and they both have a similar number of leads, similar number of homes, similar number of everything else. Well, 5% of 20 million is, I think that's, what is that, $1 million? Let's do the math. $1 million. 1 mil in commissions. 5% of 400K is, oh, I should be able to do that math in my head. 20K. All right. Again, we're making agent B, who's doing luxury home listings, $1 million. Every time they sell a house, we're making agent A, who's working with first-time home buyers, 20K. Now, one of the biggest things that stops agency owners from going after these kind of people, agent B, business B over here, is literally just confidence. They're not entirely sure in their ability to get results. Therefore, they hedge and they go for the smaller, easier wins. What they perceive are the smaller, easier wins. But the fact is, they're not easier wins. In fact, if anything, they're probably harder wins because you've got to eke out every single dime from that equation to make it work. Not to mention, this is the mindset that most people have. So therefore, the easier areas, the lower competition that you perceive on the outside is actually higher competition, incredibly saturated because everybody's going for these people. So you're going to make less money, you're going to make them less money, and you're going to make your life just significantly harder. Now, I'm not suggesting to go take on all kinds of different campaigns that you have neither the experience nor confidence in doing, but it does help to expand your mind a little more and to think, well, what could I do? What would I do? I mean, honestly, between you and I, the difference between these marketing campaigns is not very much. We still need to get in front of ideal potential prospects. We still need a really good message. We still need a follow-up system. We'll still need lead conversions. Not to mention agent B is going to be better at talking to more affluent buyers, which isn't going to be your role as the agency owner anyway. So that, my friend, is step one, choosing the right niche for your agency in which to sort of unleash your high profit offers for. So step two then is what we do after. So niche, step one, now we have offer. And essentially, this is where we can start talking about high profit services. And this is step two. And it has to be done in this order. So what do we do here? Well, the reason this is important is because different markets are also going to have different needs. So again, if we're trying to jam this square peg into the round hole, let's really beat up this analogy for a second, it's simply not going to fit. Another example is if we can start with our niche first, we can identify their pains and problems and fears and frustrations, and we can design a coordinated campaign that tackles those head on. So for example, if you've got a market that's making 30K a year, they probably don't need advanced tax planning strategies. On the other hand, if they're making 3 mil a year, these are going to become an incredibly important part of the strategy in order to make sure that they're not paying extra money on taxes or excessive unnecessary taxes and so on. So that's step one, is that we can now start to align our offer with the market. Number two is that we're going to use the right messaging when we're talking to them. So if we've got someone over here, I don't know how to make this person look rich. We'll give them a nice tie. We'll give them a fancy car. Oh, so fancy. All right, perfect. And we'll just draw some money around them because that's it. So that's our rich person. This person's going to have no money. Hopefully this looks just like empty pockets. We're going to go with that. Now, this person here, they value money savings. So money over time. This person over here, our affluent business owner, they value time over money, which means you need to position your service as something that is going to save them time, not save them money. Yes, we need to make the money. That is the purpose of marketing. That's what we're doing all this for: lead gen, customer gen, revenue, et cetera, et cetera. But the real kicker is how quickly are you going to be able to get them the result, and how little involvement from them are you going to need, because they do not have time. They have money to give to you to solve this problem for them. This is why you need to make sure that the services that you're offering align with this, and the messaging that you're using to present all this aligns with this as well. The flip side of this, if you're going over here and you're talking about how cheap you are, or inexpensive, or budget friendly, or any of those, you're literally just going to attract piles and piles of broke people that have no money to invest in you or their businesses, because they're valuing money over time. They want to do everything they can to save as much money as possible, and they're willing to spend all of their time to do it, but they don't have any dollars. And if you're running a profitable agency, this is clearly the complete backwards approach that you want to be taking. Now, when it comes to what services you want to offer, and you're going to offer, a quote from Warren Buffett, who says, "We're looking for something that costs a penny, sells for $1, and is habit forming." Essentially, costs a penny. We're looking at things like services, and ideally services that are automated, that we can use some kind of software for, that we can outsource for inexpensive, because then we don't have to spend all of our profit margins getting this done. Sells for $1 has to do with the value of the service that you're delivering, and value is subjective based on the pain that you're going to be relieving to the kind of target market that you're serving. So again, imagine our tax planning example again. You could have a tax planning service that would save someone that's making $3 million a year an absolute fortune, and that's worth a ton to them. On the other hand, you try to sell that to someone making 20 or 30 grand a year, it's basically worth nothing, and they're certainly not going to pay a lot because they're not paying as much in taxes anyway. Habit forming has to do with the results that you're able to deliver on a consistent basis, and also the sort of stickiness of your agency. So are you proving what you're doing? Are you showing your work? Are you showing up consistently? Are you sending updates and reports? Are you showing them that you're getting good results? The fact is, I've had many agency clients stick around for 5, 6, 7 years, and it's simply because the thought of them leaving would be crazy. Why would they ever leave? They're giving me $1 and I'm making them $5 back in return. So they're going to give me as many dollars as they can, as long as I'm able to keep providing that level of exchange, which obviously through some of the services we're going to talk about makes it a whole lot easier to do. Now, before we get into kind of the high profit offers, let's take a look at some low profit offers first, so that we've got something to contrast this against. Low profit offers. By the way, profit, we're going to measure in time and money. And the reason that we need to measure profit in time and money, and not just money, is because if your goal is to simply make $10K a month and then just do that for the rest of your life, that's totally cool. You can do that as a freelancer, as a contractor. You can just put in your time for dollars and carry on. But essentially all you've really done is traded your 9-to-5 job for a new job where you have even less security, you're responsible for everything, and you're kind of just barely meeting the minimum. So I like setting $10K a month as kind of my baseline goal for any new agency owner. And then we want to scale up from there so that we can get support systems in place to give you the time, the financial, the location freedom that you desire and deserve. So what are low profit things? Things like web design, things like anything custom app development, things like content marketing, things like social media management in the typical way of like basically posting social media content, curating anything, we'll say, that takes time, that takes all your time, takes customization, because you're not able to repeat this or scale it up. Why web design? Well, web design is subjective in most cases, which means that you'll create a website for a client, you'll put it out to them, they'll look at it, they'll be like, this is great, or this is not great, and can you change this? Can you change that? And you'll go back and forth and back and forth. Some agencies manage to do this okay, but it's significantly more difficult to reach like a high 7-figure run rate with web design, simply because of the customizations and the subjectivity of design in general. Branding, any kind of graphic design falls in here as well. App dev, same kind of thing. We saw a huge surge of new app developers come on the scene now that there's no-code tools and things like that. Less profitable. Again, too much customization. Content marketing. I love content marketing. I think it's probably one of the greatest marketing strategies available today, but I would never open a content marketing agency simply because it is really challenging to tie the ROI from your content to basically that, to tie ROI to your content, to tie the content that you created with the clients or the customers or the revenue that it generated. Not to mention, again, content takes a lot of time, even if we're using AI tools and ChatGPT and so on and so forth. Again, it's just a lower value thing. And the same thing goes social media management, especially in the traditional way that social media management is done with getting likes and comments and shares. These are things that any sophisticated business owner knows are completely irrelevant, if not completely useless. So why would they pay a lot of money to have that done? And then, of course, anything that takes customization, we want to avoid like the plague. And this is simply because of the time that it's going to take to go back and forth. There's some clients that look really good on the surface when you start working with them because there's a big check associated with it, until you realize all of the additional work and back and forth and negotiations and subjectivity that goes into it there. So we want to avoid that. Flip side, high profit. The fun stuff. What are we going to do here? We got a couple different options here. Tons of different things available to do. There's also ways of structuring low profit offers with more systemization and SOPs and all kinds of fancy stuff. But if you're going for like the fastest path to cash and you want to do this in a way that's going to get your clients the absolute best results, then I'd like to give you a few suggestions that I've used to build multiple seven-figure agencies and that I show my clients and students how to use as well. So lead gen is a really big one. Now there's tools that we can use under the lead gen umbrella that are going to get better results faster for clients. Most of these, full disclosure, are going to be powered by some kind of automated software. The one that we use is High Level, but you do not have to use it. highlevelguide.com. If you're curious about it, this will just get you an extended 30-day free trial to the software so you can play around with it, see if it fits with what you're looking for. But I want missed call text back. What this means is, if someone calls a business owner and they don't answer the phone, heaven forbid, we can automatically text back that person that called with a text that essentially captures that lead. Because what normally happens is someone will call a business, nobody will answer, then they'll just go down the list on Google, find the next map, the next listing, and they'll call them instead. And we lose that business and it never comes back. So missed call text back prevents all of that. Web chat widget, what this does is allows us to capture website visitors and turn them into conversations that we can then turn into leads. The beauty, again, is like with missed call, text back, with the web chat widget, because we're using high-level software to do this, we can actually give them a phone app so they're getting the conversations directly to their phone. So anytime someone visits the website, they enter the chat, now we're delivering leads essentially on a silver platter directly to their phone. So in the past, they may have had marketing agencies that were like, we'll get you likes and comments and shares. And they saw that and they was like, this is terrible. And now we're the ones that are actually giving them leads that turn into conversations that turn into sales. Google Business Chat is another one. Same concept where we can start converting more conversations there. Then I also like call to action forms. So these, again, are very similar to like a web chat widget, except now I can associate some kind of offer or incentive right on their website. Think of those ever annoying pop-ups, but they work. So we're going to use them. And then, of course, we can also do basic SEO. This is for local SEO, not national SEO. So think anything with a city name attached to it. SEO is significantly easier because most of it comes down to building something called citations. Citations and getting reviews, all of which we can largely automate, again, using this software here, which makes our lives significantly easier. So talk about high profit, low fulfillment, which is what we're after. Next, lead conversion. This is essentially the second piece of the puzzle that I'm adding to all of this. I mentioned some of it briefly before. One of them was that lead connector app. This is just the app that's associated with High Level that allows us to have those conversations directly with them, as well as any other kind of automatic SMS follow-up. This is one of my all-time favorites. And the reason is that as much as I love email marketing, there's simply no comparison between getting a lead's phone number, SMS, your ability to contact them, better open rates, better reply rates, better use of pretty much all kinds of marketing incentives in order to get them to take action and fulfill on them. And we can do all of this automatically. In fact, the beauty of all of these are kind of once they're set up, you're able to offer all of this with like the click of a button, which means that you can extricate yourself from fulfillment. Your clients keep getting results, and then you can focus on getting more clients rather than constantly just delivering that service. Now, other high profit offers These ones are, I'm going to say this is less profit, but only for a very simple reason. And that's going to be, say, Facebook, Instagram thrown in there as well, and Google ads. What you'll find though is that most business owners want Facebook ads, possibly Google ads. Some will ask for Instagram ads. I love them. I think they're amazing. Over my career, I've spent $70 million on Facebook ads alone, so I know just how powerful it is. The problem with offering this service is that, let's say the client has a $5,000 budget to spend. Well, you get to spend $2,500 on ads, which means that your profit is $2,500. Not bad, but not $5,000. Opposed to using some of these services first, we can essentially, our cost here to fulfill is the cost of the software. So $100, $200, $300, $500 at most if you get all of the fancy software you could ever want. And that basically completely protects our profit margins. That said, you're going to find clients want these services. So if you can integrate this, Facebook ads that then integrate into the chat forms, into the automatic SMS follow-up, into all of this, not only are you going to get better results from your ads, convert them better, turn into more conversations, but you're also going to be able to charge a premium on that for that additional service delivery. And then this one again is very software specific, but it's a customer re-engagement campaign. This is how I get clients an immediate ROI when they hire me. In fact, sometimes, depending on how well the sales call is going and if they're already in, I may not even mention this until after we've started working together, because it's kind of like an ace up my sleeve that allows me to really shock and awe them. So they'll hire the agency, they're looking forward to all of these things that I'm going to offer for them. I've set it all up. And then I pull this one, the rabbit out of the hat, this customer re-engagement campaign, which essentially all we're doing is we're taking their existing customer list, we're uploading it to our software here, using High-Level Guide, but I'm sure this could be done with other softwares as well. Then we're sending them a offer, an incentive, some kind of call to action that gets them to take action. Like, hey, I've got a couple extra $20 vouchers set aside. Do you want one? Hey, are you still interested in buying a home in Beverly Hills? Hey, are you still want to do this thing? Hey, we've got these free things over here. Got a couple set aside. Do you want me to save one for you? Whatever it is, we then send that to the list, and we will get an immediate and very positive return. First of all, because it's their engaged customer list, even if they've only got a few hundred, we can often make them thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands, sometimes for higher ticket items, hundreds of thousands of dollars almost instantly with like the push of a button. So again, these are high profit offers. These are things that you want to be delivering, you want to be promoting to your clients, because again, you're going to make them a whole lot more money. And if you do something like this, you send a customer re-engagement campaign and you make them an extra, I don't know, let's say you're charging $2,500 a month and you make them an extra 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand in the first month, like you've just 10x their ROI, sometimes 15, sometimes 17 times ROI just from that one alone, when done right. Obviously, your mileage may vary. This is not an income claim. I have to preface this, should post-preface this, saying, obviously, these numbers are not normal, and et cetera, and you shouldn't listen to me or anybody else on the internet. However, when we use these kind of software and these kind of systems, simply plug in your own numbers and you'll be able to come to your own conclusion. Now, when it comes to all of those services, there's something that I call the $1 million question, $1 million Q, which is, if you were only paid based on your results, what services would you offer? So if only paid, let's assume that you owned the business. If only paid on results, what would you do? Well, you don't have to tell your clients these questions, but do a little bit of a mental thought experiment with yourself. What would you do if you owned the business? What services would you offer? Would you offer social media content posting? Probably not. Would you offer new web designs and things like that? Probably not. Would you offer getting them likes and comments and shares on social and engagement and stuff like that? Probably not. I know what you would do. You would try to make them as much money as you possibly could, as quickly as you possibly could, probably using a combination of capitalizing on leads that are already coming in, which we do here and here, probably on bringing them new leads, which we would do here through SEO and through different ads, probably through converting as many of the other leads as we possibly could using these, and probably sending something that is going to enable us to generate a very fast positive ROI. So again, this is the filter that I use when I'm looking at different services to offer. And then of course we line those up with the different kind of niches that we're serving, because certain niches are going to value some of these services more than others. This is turning into a real Jackson Pollock work of art here. Okay, let's talk about high profit scaling next, because now that you're going out there and you're taking all of those services, you're working with niches that value you, are willing and able to invest in your marketing services. The next question is, how do we blow this thing up? How do we quickly go from 0 to 10K, and then 10K to 100K, and then 100K to $1 million? This is per month, which I appreciate. The thought of 100K a month or $1 million a month might sound completely ridiculous, but I assure you. So what do we need to do? Well, the first of all is that you may have heard this expression comes out of Silicon Valley, which is like move fast, break stuff. That's here. This is your like move fast, break stuff phase, 0 to 10K. What you want to be doing here is less marketing, more selling. You need to be doing more client acquisition. You need a truly irresistible bulletproof offer to put in front of people that solves their most painful and pressing problems. Ideally, one painful, pressing problem solved by one offer to one kind of target market. This is your move fast, break stuff. This is your do what works and do more of it. Double down on the things that are bringing you clients that have got you to this point. You do not want to deviate here. If the sole client acquisition method you've been using is, say, some kind of email outreach, do more of that. Do not pivot and start running Facebook ads and Google ads and YouTube ads and content and a podcast and all of the other things. Do more of the things that are already working. And then here, this is where we need to start going. The expression is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So essentially, we need to start to systemize, use SOPs, standard operating procedures. We need to start looking at building out systems that allow us to repeat things so stuff doesn't fall through the cracks, things don't break unnecessarily, and you're able to continually remove yourself from all of that. But again, how do we even do that? Well, let's focus here first, because, and I'm going to write 1 here. Oh, let's write rule of 1, because we really have to beat this up. This is probably one of the most important things and one of the biggest things that stops people from scaling, which again, if you remember, one offer, one niche, service, one way of solving it for them. And we do not want to pivot around. One of the biggest problems people have with niches is something called niche swapping, where they'll do plumbers for like a month and be like, that didn't work. And then roofers for a month. Roofers are hard. Then solar, and then med spas, and then dentists, then chiropractors, then gyms, then martial arts gyms. And they just keep going back and forth and all over the place. The problem is not the niche. The problem is the system and the strategy and the way that you're approaching the niche. There are basically every niche that I've ever come across that is even remotely popular is a 7-figure or multi-7-figure niche, meaning there's $1 million agency behind basically every single niche. Every common one that you've ever heard, from pest control to funeral homes to dentists, chiropractors, martial arts gyms, attorneys, car dealerships, all of the above. So that's what we need to make sure that we're focusing on. Let me expand a little bit here on the rule of 1, because this is going to not only simplify things and make go from 0 to 10K faster, 10K to 100K a month, and then 100K a month to $1 million a month, all of that significantly faster, but it's going to make it easier as well by simplifying everything and essentially elaborating on a point that often gets confused, which is it's hard to put in a blog. It's hard to put in a post. It's a lot easier to talk about in a video like this, where I can actually walk you through what I mean. So rule of 1 really comes down to like that one offer. So one niche, one funnel. What is the thing that you do? Who do you do it for? What's the problem that you solve for them by doing it? And then what does the sales process, the funnel, look like for someone to come in and do business with you? So what's that funnel look like? And the beauty is that by simplifying things, we really can have one sales process, one niche, one offer, one whatever it is. If you have multiple different niches that you're serving, you're doing dentists and chiropractors and automotive and all of that. Well, now you need multiple offers with multiple niches, and they all need their own funnel. And then if you're offering different services on top of that, say you do Google ads and Facebook ads and this thing and the other thing, and you have this, now you have multiple niches multiplied by multiple offers, multiplied by multiple services, by multiple funnels, and your life becomes just this complete disaster, a living hell, for lack of a better term. I know this because that's literally what I did in the early days of my agency. It took me years to finally figure out that maybe less is more. Maybe all of those people who had built profitable 7-figure, multi-7-figure agencies that came before me actually knew what they were talking about. And so I simplified. Now, that said, what enabled me to really scale up from there is this pyramid right here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to offer the same thing, whatever the solution is to the problem that we solve, but we're going to offer it at different pricing levels. Now, I call this waterfall pricing Because when we're on a sales call, what we can do is we can essentially go in and present our highest price offer. And then if they don't have the budget or whatnot, we can scale them down here. And if they are still not going to close and we know it's not going to happen, well, we can pull an ace out of our sleeve and have this very low cost thing that allows us to at least recoup the costs of any advertising or marketing we've done or the call, the sales call time, anything like that. So we always start with our best, highest offer first, and we present that first. There's a number of psychological reasons behind it, including price anchoring, where the highest number, the first number that you say anchors the price. So if we say, yeah, this top one's 5,000, well, they're going to use that then as the benchmark to judge everything else. So if we say charge 5,000 for this one, and then 2,500 for this one, by the time we come down here, 500 is going to look like a bargain, opposed to if we started at 500 for the bottom one, then we start moving our way up. By the time we get to $5,000 at 10 times more, it's going to seem absolutely ridiculous. Now, what I don't want you to do is just cut your price for the sake of cutting your price. What I don't mind you doing is cutting your price while simultaneously cutting the service or the delivery that you're providing. So for example, this top level of service is typically done for you. So this is going to be any kind of agency done for you work. It could be one-on-one work as well if you're doing some kind of other agency offer where you're going and you're building all of that for them. This middle one is done with you. These are typically some kind of coaching or consulting offer. Yes, you can do consulting as an agency owner. That is a question that I get a lot, which is, hey, shouldn't I avoid doing any hourly work or any one-on-one work or anything like that? And the answer is yes, if you're not charging enough for it. But if you work out your target yearly income and then you divide that by the amount of hours that you're working, essentially, you can get a value per hour of what your time is worth. And then you can safely double that. And that's going to be a very healthy coaching consulting rate for the interim. You don't have to do this forever. But if you're going to be able to salvage a contract that just isn't working, so you pitch them 5,000, you pitch them 2,500, they're still not in, maybe we can offer them 1,000 a month, 1,500 a month for some coaching calls, some consulting, building out the system, et cetera, et cetera. And then at the bottom is the DIY approach. And this is some kind of typically SaaS or a course. So the SaaS here is we could give them access to high level. In this case, we could show them the templates and the frameworks. We could give them the snapshots and the websites and the campaigns, and they could run it all themselves for $500 a month. Or maybe we even have a course that walks them through how to do all that. The point, though, and the most important thing is that you want to start, like a waterfall, at the top. Start here at the top, not at the bottom. Do not lead with a SaaS offer. Do not lead with a low-priced course offer. Do not lead with anything like that, because it's significantly harder to get a positive return on investment, to get them the results that they're after as well, knowing full well that if you just did it all for them, you're going to get them better results. You're going to make more money. They're going to be happier. Everybody wins. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to do then is check out a video I've got linked up right here that's going to show you step-by-step how to build a 6 or 7-figure agency. So be sure to tap or click that now. I'll see you in there in just a second. And if you happen to be curious about how we help agency owners grow and scale to multiple 6 and 7 figures, I'll make sure to put a link down in the descriptions below this video for you to check out if you're interested. All right, see you in the next video.